Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. Once you do, head over to, I got to point the right way, Brad's channel and subscribe to him. Make sure you check him out. If you watch me, you probably watch Brad. But if not, check his channel out. There'll be a link in the description box below and at the end of the video. What's up, Brad?
How's it going? Long time no see.
Yeah. So we just filmed a review that will be on Brad's channel. So again, all the more reason, make sure you go check out Brad's channel, and that review will be up there exclusively. Let me talk about this beer we're drinking for this one. Coarse Grind Hustle Imperial Stout brewed with coffee and toffee, which rhymes, so you know it's going to work totally well together. 11.5% ABV, because that's what we need to do right now. And this was packaged or canned on 3/30, which was just over 2 weeks ago, barely 2 weeks old. A Lion Snakery, which I don't get the reference. And yeah.
No. It looks good. I like coffee. I think we're on the same page with coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Black as you can get it. I don't want cream. I don't want sugar. Straight.
Yeah. It's very rare that I'm not drinking coffee black.
Yep.
Let's get into it.
Yep.
How often with toffee are you drinking coffee?
You know, I did get, because Jessica was getting mad that I kept buying K-cups.
Okay.
You know, the small, that one's full.
Yeah, just same thing happened to me. Same exact thing happened to me.
So I would buy like the 12-pack of K-cups.
Yep.
And from working at home over the last year, I'll drink 4 to 6 cups of coffee every morning.
Okay.
So I'll go through 4 to 5 K-cups a day. So I got on Amazon and I put in K-cups, and the first one that came up I bought. Well, it was a box of 100 different kinds, and there is a caramel toffee one in there.
Okay.
So I actually had it the other day. This thing is at the brim.
Oh yeah, no, I was nervous about starting to pour it, because once I opened it up, it seemed like some magic thing happened where there was somehow more liquid in the can
inside it.
Because then it was sitting above, and not like in a carbonated way.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's weird.
Almost wish I had a top angle camera.
Yeah.
I know. Just to give a shout out to someone else who does beer reviews, Draft Therapy does that. That would have been a good moment, because that was like one of the few times where I was thinking that'd be cool to show people.
Yeah.
You'll just have to take my word for it. So, man, my hands are sticky.
yeah, I was gonna say it was still over the top, and my hand is covered.
Yeah, that's wild, man. All right, so my glass isn't quite clean as I want it. I mean, it's pretty black. There's maybe a little bit of brown mixed in there, but it's a pretty dark looking stout.
You know, and I could actually see, even in a big beer like this, I could see that color coming down from black just from the coffee and the toffee. Because, you know, toffee's not going to be completely black. Yeah. So if they're really adding it in there, and the coffee, I could see it lightening it up just a little. But yeah, it does look like, especially on this glass that I do have a very dark amber hue at the very bottom.
Okay.
But other than that, yeah, you can't see through that thing.
No.
My head is gone almost.
Yeah, we have two very different heads, which is interesting. I figured with the adjuncts and the ABV, it would be killing it, and that's what yours looks like. So I don't know why mine's so.
Yeah, especially with those coffee. Now, I don't know how they put the beans in here. I have talked to some brewers, and for whatever reason, because I'm doing this porter series, and I want to try a whole bunch of local coffee beans. Yeah. So I'm trying to find out the best way to add the beans, and both of them have said whole beans are best.
Okay.
So to me, that would mean that more of the oil would come out, but I guess not, because if you crush it, then there might be more surface area for that oil to come out versus.
A person could tell me both of those things are true, and I would believe both. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they both stand to reason. Like, they both make sense to me.
Yeah.
And that oil would kill the head. So
right. But
in the way it's worded, I don't think they added coffee because it says brewed with coffee and toffee, but maybe they.
yeah, my guess is it's a cold brew going in there, but
That could be.
I could be wrong.
Let's see what it smells like.
Okay.
I mean, there's definitely a sweet coffee. It doesn't say lactose. I don't know if there's lactose in this or not, but like there is enough sweetness. And I could almost get like a hint of vanilla from something like a lactose.
I think it's the sweetness is from the toffee.
Well, and then that's the next thing I was going. And then
Okay.
it's like if I was drinking this blind, would I say toffee versus caramel versus?
No, that's true. Yeah,
I don't know.
would. Go ahead.
Well, just is it burnt sugar? Like but it's something in that wheelhouse for sure. I mean, it's almost unmistakable.
Yeah, now that you say that, I think if I was doing this blind, I would say there's lactose in there, coming off sweet, coming off vanilla, then you're getting that coffee, is what I would say.
And like we were just saying, how neither one of us really uses cream or anything, but it does kind of not that it smells like hazelnut, but like back in the day when I used to put hazelnut creamer, it does have that richness, sweetness, and then some sort of flavoring. Like it definitely has coffee in that way.
Right.
That this does not smell like you just brewed a cup of coffee.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's almost for as big a beer as this is, you're not really getting those big roasted malts like you could see in a big barrel aged beer. And I don't know if that's from the toffee and the coffee, taking that way down, but I'm sure we've each had 50 plus barrel aged beers that had some kind of coffee in it. Yeah. And you still get that big roasted malt. And I don't get that big of a roasted malt out of this.
Yeah. I've definitely seen that with their big stouts that I've had that have adjuncts where I always kind of wonder, like people watching, like how interesting is this? Because I basically get the adjuncts and it's a sweet beer, so these like maybe more, the complexity of the beer, like the roasty notes and how roasty is the base beer coming through. So I say that, but this has a different ABV than all the ones I'm thinking about. So I don't know if it's like the same stout recipe and then they just insert different adjuncts, because this is different than all the ones I'm thinking about right now. Only one way to find out, Brad. You gotta try it.
Drink it.
Here's Brad. You want to go first? Want me to go first?
Go for
it. So I'm glad we spent some time talking about the lack of roast and the aroma. There is some in the taste. There is base, like there's definitely a specific coffee taste. There's a sweet coffee taste. I get the sweetness, is it toffee, caramel, whatever. I can get that.
Right.
But unlike the aroma, there is roast from the beer.
Yeah. Yeah. It does. That almost burnt ashy roast is in there that you would like to see in a big imperial stout.
Yeah.
Because if it didn't have that, then you're like, okay, what's going on here? So I'm glad it had it. Do you think it's really sweet? Like almost dessert style?
Okay, so the reason I take another sip when you asked me that is I think it was cool when you were explaining it, because the finish is so dry, the ashy coffee, that I was like, wait, that's not what I'm tasting now. Let me do it again. I think it starts sweet. I do. And then I think the other stuff kicks in, and then the initial taste, pastry stout.
Yeah.
But then it gets, I don't want to say more interesting, because I'm not trying to like belittle a style of beer like a pastry style, but like it does get more interesting. There's more complexity, there's more nuance to it. And like I was saying, that would be a criticism of other big imperial stouts I've had from them, which I've enjoyed, because I like those bold flavors with the adjuncts, but then you're not getting any sort of that roast and that complexity and maybe something cutting you could potentially get palate fatigue drinking the same sweet,
Right.
sweet.
Yeah.
Whereas this,
Get both worlds.
you do. That's a good way of putting it. You do. And
Yeah. What about the alcohol? I get a little bit of throat burning, just a touch. But other than that, almost like the last one we did, you better be careful if you like coffee and sweeter stouts, because I could pound this and get up and fall on the ground.
I could drink this a lot faster than I should. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree 100%. Because as much as the ashy, dry roastiness can slow me down,
Mm-hmm.
then you get that sweet again at the beginning, and then it's all you just kind of
just keep on repeating the cycle.
very quickly. Yeah. And like you said, there's not alcohol slowing it down. There's not that reminder of like, oh yeah, this is a big beer at all.
Right. I think the coffee is a little overpowered by everything else. I think that sweetness, that roasted malt, because a lot of people, I wouldn't say that are scared, but don't want to try, porters or stouts. Most of them, or most of the time, they don't like that coffee flavor.
Mm-hmm.
This could be almost a good one to drink without smelling, because that ashy roasted malt, yes, there is some coffee in here, but I was going into this, I was like, okay, you've got a coffee turner and a whole bunch of coffee beans on this. This thing could be almost like an energy drink, all the caffeine from those beans, but at least to me, it feels like it's covered up. The coffee part is covered up a little too much for my liking, but I could drink this all winter long and be fine.
I think this would be a cool beer if they brewed it. Not that breweries do things like this, but they brewed the exact same beer without the coffee, and then we could try them side by side. How much of that roasty thing that I do think is coming from the base beer?
Yeah.
How much of that is the base beer versus, but that is actually some of the coffee? I don't know, because it does drink like a base stout would with that roasty level.
Yeah, and I've been learning a lot from doing all those porter beers that I made, and a lot of those darker roasted malts are going to bring pretty much every single time a chocolate, some kind of roast, and a coffee, either like a city coffee, French roast, something like that. So yeah, that's the hard part about this is, okay, you're saying it's a coffee beer. How much coffee are you really putting into this?
Yeah.
And how much are you getting from the actual malt? Like you said, I would love them to do the same exact beer without coffee, leave the toffee in there, and let's see what we get with something like that. But that's why I make all the beers I do, is because I want to say, okay, here's your base, here's this. It would be interesting for Hop Butcher or anybody to come out with a line that starts with, like, say, 1 hop or 1 adjunct, then go to 2, then go to 3, then go to 4, and put them all out at the same time, so people can start understanding, this is what this does, this is what happens when you add this, this is why we don't add this, something like that.
Yeah, no, I love the idea. It makes me think of things like you're by Bell's, so you have like Expedition Stout, and then they put it in bourbon barrels. So then it's like, okay, I know what the base tastes like because I've had that beer how many times, or I can have one right now that's comparable, and then do, this is what the barrel's imparting. It's a fun thing to do, and I would love to do it more, as much as possible, really.
Right. Yeah, and we do see that, not to get off on other breweries, but we do see that from Oberon. They make the standard, then they made a jalapeno version of it, and then they made a cherry version of it, then mango habanero, then like a tequila version of it, which was really good, which I was like, I hate tequila. But yeah, it would be nice to see some of these breweries do something like that. I mean, it's probably us beer reviewers that want to see that more than anything.
More than the average person, probably. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, think about it. It was a 4 pack, and yeah, each beer. I mean, they do, and I mean, crazier things have happened. Like Prairie did like a deconstructed bomb, where like they have the adjuncts, and each bottle had only one adjunct. I mean,
Mhm.
breweries have done things like this to kind of have the opportunity,
Right.
but yeah, to go back to like the genesis of this tangent, it is. I would believe it if it was just the roast from the beer. I also believe if the coffee is amping up what the base is
Right.
doing. But yeah,
Yep.
I was going to read the back of the can too, what they said. Smooth coffee, creamy toffee, sweet caramel. Yeah, I mean, I think we kind of touched upon,
Yeah.
and again, like these are the adjuncts are in the beer, the sweetness from the toffee's in the beer. I could see caramel. I could,
Yeah. Well, I would say the caramel's all over my hand.
right? I mean, it's so sticky.
Yeah.
So, anything else before we sign out, Brad?
No, I think this is a good one. Definitely one if you're into these bigger imperial stouts, coffee beers. If you can find it, definitely one to pick up and try. And if you really like them, yeah, get a 4 pack, 6 pack, whatever they come in.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right. Well, again, check out Brad's channel. Link will be in the description box below. Maybe even at this time as I'm talking, it's already up on the screen as well. You can just click on that. Once you're done doing that, check me out on Instagram and Untappd. It's No Hype Beer Reviews at both those places. So always please like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone. See ya.
Cheers.